I genuinely can't tell if I look like a clown right now. Speaking of clowns, that's the topic of today's video. So, hello, welcome back to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. For today's video, I thought we could do a bit of a podcast reacting, yeah? Because a podcast has been doing the rounds recently and it's got a lot of people upset. So, let's just see what the fuss is about. I already know what the fuss is about and I already have formulated my own opinion about it. So the podcast in question is the Saving Grace podcast. Grace has also recently platformed James Charles, so I don't know who's next on the agenda. Gary Glitter? Prince Andrew? Just weird. Lot of company you've been keeping recently, Grace. Not my demographic, not my thing. I'll try to be, the positive big Alizee you all know and love. She had an OnlyFans worker on there called Bonnie Blue, and some of the stuff that Bonnie Blue was saying, questionable.
Hey boys, school's over and I'm about to get on top.
Now I've just searched it, so I can react in real time. That's how it works. And I've just seen the Metro have put up an hour-long interview with her. Metro did an article interviewing Bonnie as well, and I just have to say, I hate pulling the, well, if the genders were reversed card, because you see a lot of like, oh, if the genders were reversed and this was happening to girls, like about someone being murdered or something, there'd be an uproar, there'll be an outcry, and it's like, well, no, because that stuff does happen to women and girls on a daily basis, and there's not really that much of an uproar once in a while if people are feeling generous, But I do genuinely think in this situation, if the genders were reversed and it was a man who was being accused of being predatory towards young, well, barely legal, hers not mine, women, the Metro wouldn't be jumping to interview them. A few male sex offenders just sprung to mind, and no, the Metro hasn't interviewed them. Why don't we just get on with the original one, the Saving Grace podcast? I'll try and be nice. Why should I be nice to Grace? Because she's only like 25, 24. I should be no one was nice to me when I was that age. People were horrible to me, and that's why I am the bitter person I am to this day. So why should I be nice to her? Whatever. Who am I shadowboxing? Who am I arguing with? Let's just get on with it. Bonnie Blue reveals what really happened in Freshers Week, how much she makes in a year, and more. Let me just say that I have new merchandise now. I have a whole lot of new stuff on ayclothing.tmail.com. We've got water bottles with consume, it's ironic capitalism, leave me alone, logo. We have these iPhone cases. We have iPhone cases, iPhone only. This is the watch logo. We have, oh, look at that, all three different logo designs represented. We have notebooks. I really like the notebooks because I like how crisp the colours come up on here. There are loungewear things. There are jigsaw puzzles. There are other things, all on ayclothing.tmail.com. There is this hoodie that I did not have on the floor that I might wear now. I don't really like how I look in hoodies on camera though, because I think I look bulky, and Bonnie Blue is definitely the type of person who will fat shame me if I look bulky. Let's just give it a go. Got the logo here, and then
hey, down in front.
So that's ayclothing.tmail.com. Let's get on with it. Stickers there as well.
Just a pre-warning here, if you do have any small kids, babies, partners that you don't like, maybe just get them out the room for today's episode, because we have got the one and only Bonnie Blue.
Hi.
I was going to be mean, but actually I'm going to wait until Bonnie starts talking, because then when I am mean, no one will have a go at me for being the one that's being mean, because I won't have started it.
If I go back to recruitment, that's still boring.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I see.
And I was like, I'm too good to do the average life.
Of course.
Grace, can you shut up for more than like 10 seconds, please? I'm clearly the one that's in the wrong, by the way, because it's a podcast with 500,000 subscribers. So, what the fuck do I know? But is it not irritating for anyone else? Like, someone's talking and then someone's been like, yeah. Because, like, I know it's part of, like, trying to be an active listener, but it's not the point. It's not the point. Not the point of this video. Carry on.
So I was like, skip recruitment.
Yeah.
Obviously knew about OnlyFans.
Now that I've pointed out, though, it's all you guys are going to be able to hear.
When you started OnlyFans, was it just like underwear pics?
No, you have to be interested for that.
Okay.
You got to have some sort of following. You've got to be you've got to be interesting. You've got to have something about you.
Okay.
I mean, it's hilarious that she doesn't think that she's interesting. I'd agree. I already know a lot about this interview, right? I'm not just being bitchy. I already know a lot of like what she says. Yeah. But it, like, at least there is a level of self-awareness there. She knows she's not interesting enough to be able to just go into OnlyFans and expect to have a following without some attention-seeking antics, which is what this is. Oh, I think of a disclaimer. Disclaimer, I do believe majority of what she says is just rage bait and she doesn't really believe what she's saying, but I'm a conspiracy theorist. No. Well, yes. I think that about pretty much most extreme people in media. I don't think Piers Morgan really believes a lot of the waffle that comes out of his own mouth. I do think Elon Musk believes everything he says, but he's another moron. Yeah, I said it. I called a billionaire a moron. Get a grip.
I hate rich people.
Bonnie says and does a lot of things for the attention to drive people towards her OnlyFans, because without that, she's basically interchangeable between like her and several other blonde UK OnlyFans models that I know of. There's like a good 3 or 4 other ones who are basically a little bit interchangeable with her aesthetically. So she is aware that she needs to say a whole bunch of crazy crap for people to give her any attention. She can't do it of her own merit, which then people inaccurately say, oh, but that's a good business mind to say crazy crap to get attention because then you make money. And it's like, yeah, in the short term, but what's the long term plan of that? Some people can say crazy crap and continuously make money and get work, but bites a lot of people in the arse ultimately. I mean, I tried being an attention seeker in my early 20s and it just wasn't, there's no real dignity in doing so. Christ, look at Azealia Banks. Every day she's saying some, I'm a bit worried that I've said her name now because she might appear behind me and try and murder me. It's like Bloody Mary. She's always saying crazy crap on Twitter, and as a result of it, nobody wants to work with her now. Even controversial people don't want to work with her anymore. So in the short term, yeah, I know we're not even in it yet and I'm just talking. I should have a podcast. Oh wait, I did and it flopped. I hate this new get your bag, sis, at like any cost. Because again, what's the long-term ramifications of what you're doing? Like, I do think you've got to have a little bit of integrity. Is that rich coming from a YouTuber? Who knows? Let's continue.
My first scene was an orgy and was all sort of in silence.
Hell.
Well, that's jumping in the deep end.
How many people were in the orgy?
There was 2 guys, 3 girls.
I was thinking it was like 30 people. Sorry.
No idea what I was doing.
Wow.
Google it the day before.
I've been there.
Googling sex positions. Yeah. Like you'd be new as well.
Yeah, I before I met my girlfriend, the day before we met, actually, I was Googling how to finger.
Do you know what's the most upsetting part for me? Whilst I was doing my makeup, you know, to make myself look like a clown for this, I was listening to an audiobook of an essay concerning human understanding by John Locke, which I love that he said it's an essay, but it's like 500 pages. Philosophers were the tea, drama, and video essayists of their time period. Anyway, it's just very upsetting for me that I'm inflicting this brain rot upon myself. And when I fail all of my exams, I'm going to be blaming these 2.
I never thought I'd be into girls. I do enjoy pleasuring them and receiving pleasure from them. Couldn't settle down with one though, because I'm not a girl's girl.
Wow. We all know you're not a girl's girl. Which, here's the thing, the inner pick me is going to come out. I am sort of a boy girl. I think I've got a boy brain and a girl body. I hate to say it, but I do find it easier most of the time to talk to blokes. I find it easier to ascertain where I stand with them. I think the social dynamics for me are just, you know, I don't really question. It's a whole thing that I would have to unwrap another time in a therapy session, but I've like grown up basically predominantly being friends with boys. My close mates are mostly boys. I've only ever really lived with boys, that type of thing. So I don't particularly consider myself a girl's girl in the typical sense of I don't have like a dedicated girl group that I could go to brunch with. It's just not really my vibe, right? But other women are not the enemy. I wish I had a little bit more female influence in my life. I really do, because boys are stupid. But in saying all of that, I don't view other women as the enemy. I don't view other women as competition, as Bonnie does. We'll get to it.
So yeah, then in November last year, there's something in Australia called schoolies.
Okay.
So it's fresh 18-year-olds. They've just finished school. They go partying.
Right.
Fresh 18-year-olds is a crazy thing to say. By the way, I'm just going to bring this up now. Bonnie Blue is allegedly 24/25 because Grace is the same age. Dear audience, do you really think in your heart of hearts she's 24? I don't believe it. I know that my opinion doesn't mean anything because I'm a woman, so I'm basically a non-entity to someone like Bonnie. I asked my male friends, how old do you think this woman is?
You have to get old up to a point, but that's ridiculous.
Rachel did a bit of sleuthing. She's going to put in her own video. Spoiler alert. And she discovered that allegedly Bonnie is actually 27. I just don't believe that she's 24. You could never... I want to see the birth certificate. Is that insensitive to say? Because he just won? Whatever, not the point. People about Bonnie saying freshly 18 and like barely legal and whatever. Blokes already defending her being like, well, it's legal, so who cares? It's icky, so it's legal, as if legality means fucking anything. Like, who cares about the law? But I believe that she is fully lying about her age, and she's 27 or older, lying about her age just to make it sound a little bit better. That she's bonking 18-year-old virgins. Furthermore, I've seen some people say, this is totally unverified though, and I'm not going to check, that there was an OnlyFans documentary a few years ago, and Bonnie appeared on it then and said that she was in her 30s. So whether she's 27 or in her 30s, I'm not sure, but I don't believe, and you will never make me believe, that she is 24.
To be fair, they came to me. They was like, coming to the location I lived at. So I was like, I'm going to open my door to them.
Of course.
I'm going to open my door to them, and Grace just goes, of course you're going to open your door to men you don't know. Grace, are you dumb? I feel like she's such a sweetheart of so many people. I don't give a fuck, because I don't really watch Saving Grace, obviously. I've seen a lot of the comments being like, Grace has a problem never being able to disagree with her guests. But even this is pretty brain dead to be like, yeah, of course you'd open your door to strange men you don't know. What could possibly go wrong? I can't believe we're less than 5 minutes into this and I've been yapping.
Because do you post the videos from that online?
Yeah, because it's free for them.
They have to sign consent forms. Okay.
So they come in, have to show me ID. Have to have photos with their ID, and then they sign consent forms.
And does the consent form just say, I'm posting this online?
Yeah, it's just like a generic OnlyFans. Do you like accept? Are you being like forced into it?
I'm sure none of them are ever going to regret doing this.
They're queuing for over 8 hours down that line. Yeah. They very much want to be here.
Yeah, I'm going to blame the men, which is so pathetic. I would, not that any of these types of men would care about what I think. I would never date someone who'd queued 8 hours to shag someone. It's just pathetic. This is why we haven't conquered space yet. Not that we should, but still.
We said it's like seeing One Direction.
Yeah,
like
basically.
you're queuing for hours.
Her likening herself to One Direction is wild.
Sometimes when they don't look as good looking, like struggles sometimes a little bit, but a bit of spit, I'm all good.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah. What do you know, Grace? Why am I being so aggy towards Grace and not to Bonnie? I think because like I don't take Bonnie seriously at all. I think she's rage baiting. I think she's a joke. So like I just kind of refuse to take her seriously. So she's not getting on my nerves because it's just like whatever.
Have like a little bit of a convo with them when they come in, or do you just straight to it?
Bless them, they're so nervous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're holding their ID up, they're shaking.
That is so pathetic. Sorry, it's so pathetic. Not me roasting 18-year-olds instead of roasting this clearly in her late 20s or 30s woman for shagging them. No, I'm the one in the wrong, sorry.
They've just queued up for hours on end. All they know is that I'm videoing it and they don't know what to expect.
Yeah, especially I feel like if you're a virgin, that's a very big move.
What an enlightening thought, Grace. Yes, that's a huge thing to do if you're a virgin. The first time you're going to lose your virginity is bonking. That's going to go on OnlyFans and you've been queuing up. That's a crazy thing to do. And do you know what? I'm going to start throwing this back at men because I've fed up. A type of man who does that, because I've seen men be like, oh yeah, but it's just a laugh though, like none of those boys are going to feel taken advantage of because it's just a laugh. Well, do you know what, fine, let's assume that not one of them out of the like hundreds to thousands that it is at this point sees it as being taken advantage of or being preyed upon. For them to do something like this, they are not a high value man. They are not a high value man, and they're not deserving of a high value woman. If they're going to queue up for 8+ hours for a shag, not a high value man. Not husband material, not boyfriend material, not a high value man, not someone who is going to lead this society. We need strong men and someone quivering and shaking because they've lined up for 8 hours to lose their virginity. Ain't it? I'm becoming an alpha female grind set person because I've had enough. Use their rhetoric back against them. Anyway, should we continue? Am I the one that's going to get in trouble for this? I'm sure Rachel's making like a very well thought out feminist takedown, and I'm here being like, where have all the real men gone?
Honestly, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Because they walk away with so much confidence.
Do they?
Like, honestly, people think I'm joking when I say I'm a community worker, but like they come to me.
You on the tax record.
Exactly. Like,
Oh my God, babe, you're doing such a public service. You're essentially a charity.
they're coming to me like, and people pick on virgins and stuff all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry, is this like the 1990s? Who's picking on? No, I can't say that. I can't say that. In my early 20s, my catchphrase was literally "don't care, virgin." So I can't be like, who's picking on virgins?
When they go and see that next girl, like they've got so much confidence, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's kind of a flex. Like, who did you lose your virginity to?
Oh my God,
Bonnie
exactly.
Blue. Yeah.
It's not really a flex though. She's banging like hundreds of these virgins. So it's just not a flex. Maybe it's a flex if there's nothing interesting about you. These people are just so mundane. It's so banal. Is it banal or is it banal? Should I start saying banal? It's so banal of these people. It's just not fucking interesting. Again, this is why we aren't exploring space, because everyone's so obsessed with sex. Like, get a grip.
I've got no idea who's going to be in that queue.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they're going to be skinny, fat, tall, short, big dick, small dick. Like, I have no idea.
I've seen some of the videos on her Instagram of like these blokes queuing up, and it is genuinely like really embarrassing. She blurs their faces out, but when you hear them, oh my God. There was this one I saw where she was like, so what are you going to do to me? And this bloke was like, I'm gonna ruin you. It's like, and they get like 2 minutes, I think. The ones I saw, they were getting 2 minutes because she was doing, I have to admit, this is funny. You know, the whole like, do you want this or double up and give it to the next person? She was doing that. 2 minutes with me or double up and give 4 minutes to the next person. That is kind of funny. But like these blokes are like quivering, being like, yeah, I'm gonna ruin you, babe. What was my point? Oh, I have so many thoughts. And it's like, firstly, you've got 2 minutes with her, behave. You and your tiny little shriveled pee-pee are not doing anything to her. Secondly, she shagged like bare lads now. Went M to the B there. She shagged bare lads. Like, you ain't gonna bring anything she's never seen to the table. Thirdly, my main point, security concern. I don't know if she has any security. I read an article that she put her own address online, and that's how these blokes are like queuing up outside her house or flat to bang. Does she have a security guard? I would hope she has a security guard. Otherwise, that's just the dumbest. Because I think she views sex as like giving to a man rather than something that people are equally participating in, because she has some problematic viewpoints we'll get onto in a bit. Is she such a pick-me that she thinks because she's giving these blokes sex, they're like, none of them are dangerous? Honestly baffling. Does she have security? I would hope she has security.
How many people have you done in one freshers?
This was 158 in 2 weeks.
Is that a Guinness Book of World Records? Because if it's not, I'm just not impressed, babe. 150, I could do that in 2 seconds. Sorry.
I'm sore right now.
I was going to say, do you get like sore?
God truly does give his toughest battles to his strongest warriors.
Some of them don't get past the blowjob stage. So them ones, I don't get sore, like
bless
maybe a bit
them.
of jaw ache.
Is that why her jaw's quite defined? I'm clearly missing a trick here. Need to slim down my big old jaw. What an amazing exercise regime. Imagine like saying that to your PT.
That's why you've got a good jawline, I
Do you
suppose.
think?
Yeah, you do have very good jawline. Yeah.
I should be the one doing this podcast, clearly. Oh God, no. Grace and I don't think similar, do we? Oh God, I'm not that smart after all. But I'm being so bitchy. She is the one who platformed Bonnie, not me. I'm allowed to be mean.
Honestly, sometimes like they're really hard to make them finish.
Sounds like a skill issue, babe.
The first guy lasted over an hour and a half. My legs were burning. I literally had no spit left in my mouth. My arm was on fire.
Wow.
I'd run out of sex positions to suggest at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like he did finish at the end, and I was thinking, like, blimey, that was like a lot of work.
He was waiting for that.
Hope you got your money's worth out of that.
How do the unis react with stuff like this? Are they on board? Are they pissed off?
I mean, I have had lecturers, and they're completely on board.
The unis, do you think a professor is... What kind of question is that?
So they're queuing up as well?
Yeah.
Imagine queuing up next to your lecturer.
I thought that. Good conversation for Monday's lesson.
Very
though.
good.
That's what I mean. Embarrassing behaviour from the men. So embarrassing. I would quit that lecturer's class. Like, get a grip.
He came with his dad. I have to say, when I first saw him with his dad, I thought he's going to come and like tell me off.
Okay.
No, it was the opposite. He was jealous and wanted to join him.
Pathetic. There is nothing more pathetic than men. Prove me wrong.
I didn't know if that was too inbred, so I made him go separate.
Yeah, that's...
What? They would have been up for doing it together if she'd not stepped in and said, no, that's a bit too inbred. It's pathetic.
Went to see the dad and still had his son's liquids on me.
That's basically inbred. I'm just saying.
The son's penis was bigger. The dad was better.
That's so humbling for the dad.
Is it? Why would that come? Stupid. What a stupid question. Why would that come up? Oh, by the way, your son's knob is bigger than yours.
Was he still with the mum?
Yeah.
But Bonnie doesn't care because she's not a girl's girl. She has no morals or integrity. She would do anyone, clearly, despite their relationship status. And I know there are people that are like, well, it's the responsibility of the one who's in the relationship. I do agree. I think it's like a good 95% of the responsibility. But if you don't feel like a little bit guilty, whether you've like been the participant of emotional cheating, an affair, like full on cheating, this idea... I've met people who are like this, who are like, well, I owe that person nothing because I don't know them. And it's like, yeah, but you wouldn't like it if it was done to you. Like the cognitive dissonance some people must have. Because look, I'm not perfect. Have I been in situations with blokes who have lied about being single? Yes. Because I was naive and dumb. I didn't know yet to just never trust men. Did I not feel terrible and guilty about afterwards? Yes. I feel like that's the least I could do, is feel really guilty, even if it was like an unwitting participant. But she knowingly, she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care about anyone else. I think she harbors under some delusion that, you know, if she was to ever get a boyfriend and want to be monogamous with him one day, they just would never do it to her because she's so beautiful, which is hilarious. The types of blokes who cheat will honestly cheat with like a ham sandwich, dude. Actually, PSA for my a little bit younger audience, like, you can't stop someone from cheating either. If they're going to cheat, it's kind of a little bit like, allow it, fam. If they do that to you, but you've got to have the strict boundary of being like, okay, well, you're out of here. You can't, it's like the Sam and Nia book, right? Like her going through his phone and his Facebook contacts and doing all of this crazy stuff, when it's like, if you have to do all of that in the first place to try to prevent someone from cheating, and it doesn't prevent him because he still goes to like Starbucks and flirts with people, just let it go. Let it go. Don't bother. Anyway.
I think it's like, if she's not going to go down on him, I will do it.
You must do it yourself.
Grace agreeing with it. Grace has a girlfriend, by the way. How would you feel if Bonnie used the same logic to bang your missus? You wouldn't like it, would you? Instead of sitting there like a seal, a bit like, oh yeah, that's a good point, if they're not going to go down them. Then we continue.
You ever run into a wife that you know you've slept
Not
or no?
yet.
Okay.
No.
Not yet, but give it a year or so when she's been with like a million blokes in the UK. It'll happen eventually.
You fuck my husband, you cheeky bitch.
I'm like, well, you should have done it yourself.
Well, I slept with him that morning.
Well, you're not very good at it then.
See, she's not girl's girl because she's blaming the wife for the man's infertility. Also, this conversation is a bit ridiculous because it's running under the presupposition that it's only men who cheat, when women are horn dogs too, and women be cheating. Like, a lot of women be cheating. This sort of infantilizing, well, men can't help cheating, it's within their biology. I've known a few incredibly manipulative and not stupid men who tried to tell me that once was in my biology to cheat. Anyway, let's not get into the whole biology chat because I've done that before. I don't care. But she's blaming the woman, like, you're not good enough at sex or you're not doing it enough. Therefore, what do you expect? Do you expect your husband to not cheat on you? Yeah, basically. Because when you enter a monogamous relationship, you would think that people would just honor those informal vows they've made to each other rather than, I don't know, run the risk of damaging their partner emotionally if they were to find out about cheating. You would hope people wouldn't be this shitty. I was trying to think of the word duplicitous, but I can't pronounce it, so shitty will do.
If I actually sort of say to him, like, well, when's the last time your wife went down on you?
Right.
Or when's the last time you basically got a full service? Like, they haven't.
Yeah.
But, like, those partners still want the bills being paid for. Like, they still want the house to be clean. And
What fucking century do you live in? Now I'm getting mad. What century do you live in? What households are there where both partners don't have to have a job in this fucking economy? It's not the 18th century anymore where women are kept women. And even then, women still had affairs too. Look at Anna Karenina.
As soon as you mention something to do with the bedroom or say, oh, we haven't done this in a long time or you haven't gone down on me, it's like, oh my God, you're the worst person ever. You can't mention that or you can't pressure anyone into it. Which I get and I completely understand, but you can't expect bills in the house to be cleaned if you're not at least going down on them.
You obviously don't completely understand it if you're trying to refute the argument. You don't understand it. You are so stupid. No one is entitled to your body. No one is owed sex. What Bonnie here is doing is actually validating rape culture, because it's only a hop, skip and a jump from that argument to, well, they married me, so I'm owed sex whenever I like it. Which spousal rape was only really introduced as a law within a few decades ago within the UK. I think before then wasn't seen as rape, because you know if you're with your husband or your partner, that's the consent. Consent can be redacted at any time. So to big these types of men up and to validate their entitlement is a very, very, very slippery slope. And if you think I'm exaggerating, need I remind you that it was only a few years ago in which Onision got a question from a subscriber that was basically, my husband or my partner is touching me in my sleep and I don't like it. How do I get them to stop? And Onision turned around and said, well, don't you love them? If you love them, why wouldn't you want them touching you whenever they want to? These aren't that rare of entitled thoughts or thought patterns. So for her to sit there and be like, well, if you want the house clean, you're going to have to like suck some dick, is stupid. It's damaging, it validates rape culture. It's toxic, but also it's stupid. Nobody is entitled to anyone else's body. And if you're going to make an informal vow of loyalty to someone, if you're going to say, let's be in a monogamous relationship, then you have to respect that. Well, you don't have to. You can go and cheat. But if you're going to cheat, then that can't be without consequences, because cheaters don't like it when you call them out for being dickheads. They don't like it. Just don't be a dickhead. It's not hard. It's literally not hard to not be a dickhead. Anyway.
Your partner's going to cheat if they want to cheat regardless. At least you can probably find it on your OnlyFans as proof.
Exactly, yeah. Subscribe, get some tips.
Yes, Grace, let's monetize and profit off of the demise of other people's relationships. Are you dumb? Yes, you are all dumb. I should be listening to John Locke. Alas, I'm also dumb. Hence why I'm doing this. I shouldn't really be giving this kind of stuff attention. I know that. I don't care.
Favorite position, don't actually know what it's called, but like you're lying face down.
Yeah, speed bump.
Yes, right. I think so.
Yeah.
That one's good because I love having a bit of a face pushed into the bed.
Okay.
That one's a good one. Always makes me finish as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are you so amazed by that? Woman likes doggy with extra steps. More news at 10. Who doesn't like doggy? It hits better when it's at an episode. You're all so stupid. You're so stupid. She's not 24. Grace is only 25. But I was smarter at that age.
I'd recommend it, but I don't know how you do that in a lesbian version.
Strap on.
I don't know how you do that in the lesbian version. Like, obviously, it's strap on.
It's hard work. It's hard work.
I don't have the legs for it.
It burns.
Can you imagine me? Be like that scene from American Psycho.
Do you use condoms for all of them?
Yes.
You do? Eat like freshers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for the blowjobs, but for the sex I do.
Not for the blowjobs?
No.
Does that worry you?
A little bit, yeah, but I get tested every 2 weeks.
So she doesn't use protection when giving men blowies and uses this excuse of, well, I get tested every 2 weeks. But if you're blowing 100 guys in one weekend, you might start off STD free. She's not having sex with other porn stars. She's having sex with freshers. She's having sex with teenagers, basically. Teenagers who aren't required to get STD checkups. So she could easily be passing so many STDs on.
Send your husband my way. Send me your sons my way.
You won't catch anything.
Because it's going to be clean.
Load of rubbish. Statistically, I don't believe that she's never had an STD. Statistically, if she's not using, again, she's not shagging other people in the adult industry. She's shagging freshers and teenagers. If she's blowing like 100 guys every week, but she's only getting tested once every 2 weeks, I don't believe it. Quite a lot of English blokes have STDs. I just don't believe that she's never had something and passed it on to like 20 other guys that same night. Don't believe it. And even then, she's probably getting HPV a lot. Now, if you're sexually active, you are most likely going to get HPV once in your lifetime. With men, It's symptomless, and with men, it doesn't really do anything and it just goes away by itself. But with women, it can cause cell abnormalities that can lead on to cervical cancer. I'd be a bit concerned if she was getting HPV a lot. Why should I be concerned, actually? She clearly doesn't care if she's not using condoms for the blowjobs.
I find bumhole difficult enough to shave.
Oh, yeah.
The positions are very...
What I can't see won't hurt me.
This is truly a meeting of the minds.
Lily, who I worked with recently.
Like Lily.
Yeah, she's very similar to me. And she called me a slut, and getting called a slut from her is like the biggest compliment.
Really?
100%.
Love that.
Do you actually love that, Grace? You're being so try-hard. The disdain. I'm going to have to make a formal apology for this video. I don't care. I'm bored, actually. Get to the toxic stuff.
After we finish the scene,
Okay.
we're in Derby. My dad's a massive Derby fan, and so is Kieran.
Come on.
My dad phones and I answer, like, just finished the scene. I've got a red eye from you know what. And I was like, yeah, Dad, just finishing up with work. And he was talking about Derby. And Kieran was like, oh, I'm a massive Derby fan.
Right.
Them two end up having a conversation on loudspeaker. It gets to the point, Kieran just takes the phone off me. Them two are just having an
Just go
absolute
for it.
chit chat.
Yeah. Speaking of parents, how did you tell them you were doing this? What was their reactions?
Oh, okay.
Was that the whole story? My God, Bonnie, that was really boring, babe.
They thought I'd been like forced into it.
Oh.
And they thought I maybe had money problems. They thought, yeah, I was basically being held hostage.
You had to shut that down, I'm guessing.
I was like, I'm not being held hostage, but I do love it.
No, Grace. She let them continue believing that she was being held hostage and that they had to pay a ransom to her every month.
Your dad going and fucking someone else. What's her opinion on your opinion of that?
So if my mum wasn't pleasing him, I'd say, what do you in the bills? He's working hard. If you're not doing the bare minimum.
Bare minimum. What a sad little life, Bonnie.
He's going to be going elsewhere. Like, and I've got friends that I can recommend.
At least a ball tickle.
Exactly.
At least, yeah.
Maybe a cheeky rim job.
Well.
You would help your dad cheat on your mum if your mum couldn't be bothered to do a bit of sex. Are you okay, Bonnie? Or are you just a huge misogynist? Why do you hate your own mum, actually? Because that's a pretty crazy thing to say. Why do you hate your mum? What did she do to you? Have you got some mummy issues? Why are you batting for your dad so hard? Have you got daddy issues? Get in line if so. Not the line that's outside your flat right now.
Yeah. I think women too often go, oh, we don't have a big sex drive anymore. But
because they've been together a long time.
Yeah, like they just include their partner in that. And it's like, I can guarantee you he's going down the pub saying the opposite.
If I were a bloke and I knew that my girlfriend, like the spark's gone a little bit, and my girlfriend was forcing herself to be in the mood just so I wouldn't cheat, that would not make me feel good about myself if I was the bloke. Clearly these blokes aren't thinking like that far ahead though. Why is the onus on the woman? Maybe the spark's gone, the bloke's not bothering to put in the effort, to do the date nights, to look after themselves. Why does it have to be on the woman? Why don't the men make themselves more high value, make themselves more attractive, and then their girlfriends will want to have sex with them? Let's turn it back on the men, shall we? Bonnie, you are such a pick-me. You're such a pick-me. You're batting so hard for them. But they will never respect you or even like you that much, really. They'll never see you as anything more than a momentary vagina. I will say, though, I do agree that sex is an important part of most relationships, though there are certainly romantic relationships people can have where maybe they're both asexual. They still feel romantically, but they're just not sexual. Sure. So some caveats included. Sex is an important part of a relationship. I'd say intimacy's more important though. But what's most important is the communication and the love and respect that you have for each other, where if you are having some sexual problems, you should be able to talk to your partner about it honestly and frankly. Like, if you're at a point where you're cheating, just like bail. Just bail.
I can't imagine a man's arsehole. That to me
Harry
is one of the... Because I don't think men wipe their arseholes properly. I'm going to say it. I don't think they wash their legs. I don't think they wash their arseholes to a degree of maybe like a wipe.
Yeah.
After shitting. Does that scare you?
Easy solution. Just don't date men who don't wash themselves properly.
Have you ever seen a bit of shit there?
I have on my finger, not on their...
Okay.
And you just have to quickly wipe it on the sheet, carry on.
Hope for the best, yeah. You are a brave woman. Just for that.
Not even go wash your hand. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Bravery is a word for it, sure.
What would your death row meal be?
I do like a good carbonara, but not when it's too posh. I don't like posh food.
I actually agree with that. I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
What would mine be? Thank you so much for asking, Grace and Bonnie. It's a toss-up between, do I stick with my morals to the very, very end of my life and go for something delicious and vegan and high quality, or do I get the thing that I crave sometimes the most? Just a really, really extra cheesy margarita pizza. Do I just do that? Because I suppose if I'm getting like the electric chair or something, and I've not had dairy in a long time, there'd be quite a mess for the people who are killing me to clean up afterwards. So I think I would actually do the extra cheesy margarita pizza just out of sheer spite.
And the first position was me on top. That's missionary. No.
Oh, God forbid.
I don't know what other position that is.
She doesn't know what position girl on top is. I'm starting to think she's not the sexpert she's making herself out to be.
Her in the bedroom.
We're getting intimate. You're really enjoying it.
Yeah.
What would you say to me?
That's good, that.
You sound a bit like Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually. I'll give her a little bit of grace. Carl Pilkington has been voted women's weirdest, like, #1 crush a few years in a row. So, works for him.
Okay, what's a one-liner that gets everyone going in the bedroom for you that you know works every time?
Oh, I feel like there's a few, but just saying, oh, go and fill me up. Treat me like a slut.
I'm a lesbian.
Fill me up. That's shit. Hit them with a good daddy. And if they don't like that, they're not the one. I'm very unimpressed with this porn star.
God, I want you to lick my pussy and stick those fingers in. And then after she's done that, ask those fingers in your mouth.
So?
Some of the people that have made me finish, I look at them beforehand and think, ooh, I don't know if I should be a bit embarrassed on myself. Like I look at them and just think, I wouldn't, in the nicest way possible, would not look at you twice in the street.
No.
Probably be a little bit disgusted.
That is so funny that she thinks that about these blokes that she's like willingly sleeping with. That she thinks that actually they are right mingers. But do I feel bad for the men? Ouch, I guess. Ouch.
Golden showers are quite convenient because after they've made a mess on me, they've put their liquids all over me.
Right.
Just wash it away.
Take a shower, you grim person. Is that kink shaming? I don't care. Just go take a shower. And not that type of shower.
Have you ever thrown up on a penis?
No, I've gagged from like the smell before and they think it's the size. I'm thinking, no, it's not. It's the smell.
Again, grim. Like, she sees it as a compliment if like blokes cheat on their wives and stuff with her. Yeah. But it's like, if the caliber of man that is cheating on their partner with you are the same type of man who don't wash their dick, it's nothing to be proud of.
I was never a big penis sucker.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
It's just not for me.
See, I love it now. I never used to.
She's Stockholmed herself. I'm joking.
I feel like when you don't know what you're doing.
I've built my CV up a lot now, so it's got a lot better.
Dare I say it's really not rocket science. Just don't bite them unless they're into that.
If you're too pretty at school, you get picked on.
Yeah.
If you've got too much money, you get picked on. If you're poor, you get picked on. So it's like, no matter what they do.
Who is picking on people for being too pretty or having too much money? Strange.
It's always middle-aged women that have either probably, they know their partner would like to cheat with me.
Yeah.
And that's not really my problem.
No,
It's
fair.
a them problem. It's a you problem.
That is a you problem.
That's a you problem.
Is it fair, Grace? Again, other women shouldn't really be the enemy. And trying to denigrate them by being a bit ageist, by being like, well, it's just middle-aged women that have the problem with me. The middle-aged women aren't the ones lying about their real age, Bonnie. Imagine she actually is 24. I don't care. No, I don't believe it. That's my conspiracy theory. Like, you're dismissing and you're devaluing women just because you think that they're old and bitter and jealous of you. I've seen a lot of blokes defend her with the uni student thing, being like, well, it's legal even if it's icky. But I've also seen a lot of blokes be horrible about her online, whether it's like on the TikToks or not the TikToks, I'm not old, but on the TikToks of this podcast interview, or like on Instagram and stuff. I've seen blokes try and be like a male savior to her. I've seen guys like on her Instagram comments being like, you're clearly articulate and intelligent. Doubt. So why are you choosing this career path? Oh, I could save you and change you. I've seen blokes being quite vile about her, or being like, what about when she's older and she wants a boyfriend, she's going to be used up, as if like porn stars don't, get married. But she doesn't say a peep about them. It's always just, oh, it's the women who are just jealous because their husbands would want to bang me. Grace is just clapping seal, isn't she? Oof, every time she fucking agrees with her. Like, is there any brain cells rattling around on this set?
Some of the people that you can see their profile picture sometimes. I'm like, in the nicest way possible, like, even if you cover yourself in bleach, you're still not going to look clean.
You can say that about these people, and I don't deny it probably is true. Like, you get all sorts. Do you know what? We should bring back being able to call people ugly. Sorry, I'm not going to continue that thought. I'm just going to let that simmer in the ether. Like, I find it funny all the times that I've had ugly men try and be mean to me online. And it's like, look at you. Look at you, though. What do you mean? Like, go wash your face, brush your teeth. But she can't be saying this. And then, like, not a moment ago, she was saying, because she shags people who are minging, and also whose, like, penis stench is that bad that she's gagging. Like, it's just a bit, like, not consistent.
And I know what my life is like. I am so happy. People think I must have daddy issues or, like, there's something wrong with me. But I'm like, I just love it. And that's okay. Like,
don't knock a good daddy issue, babe.
What do you think? Do you think they're pissed off, jealous of what you're doing?
I've only
now?
ever had one. So I used to be married.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Was together like nearly 10 years. And we just grew apart. Like, we met when I was 13.
So they met when she was 13, they were together for 10 years, and then they divorced, but she's been doing this properly for a year, but she's been doing it for like a few years. Is she 24 though?
Maths. So you broke up when you were 23? No.
Yeah, so last year.
Last year?
Well, like, yeah. Met when I was like 13, 14.
My God. Have you spoken to them since?
Yeah, still on really good terms. Like, he still works for me now. Helps with some of the behind the scenes stuff.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
What a cuck.
It's like a family business at this point.
No, it actually is.
Yeah, like, it was funny because obviously I don't live here, so I don't see my family that often.
Yeah.
And I came down a few weeks ago. My mum was like folding up flyers to hand out to Nottingham Uni students. My dad was getting stickers ready to take to the pub.
Are they pimping out their own daughter? Gotta love having a supportive family, right?
When you watch videos online, everyone's going for 45 minutes, chiseled bodies.
Yeah, it's not real though, is it?
Yeah, so it's like, I'm like, did you have a good time? They're like, yes, I absolutely loved it. So it's like, why would you not want to show other people that experience of 10 seconds still can be pleasurable?
So you convince these 18-year-old, freshly turned 18-year-old virgins who have come in 2 seconds to still have the video uploaded. Like, they are so going to be made fun of by their mates. And you convince them.
Like, some of the 18-year-olds this time have been terrible.
Well, of course, yeah.
Lying there, like, so stiff. And I'm like, can I just open your legs to get there, please?
Again, crazy. Imagine, to do the gender reversal, imagine a late 20s, but pretending to be 24-year-old man saying this about freshly turned 18-year-olds. Freshly legal. Though part of me does wonder something. The age of consent in the UK is 16. I think she's only really going for the 18-year-olds and the 18-year-old virgins just because Americans would go nuts about it. I do wonder though. Because clearly morality is not stopping her from doing anything. Also, people can create fake IDs. It's not uncommon here for people to have fake IDs to, get into pubs and clubs. One of my friends was like 14 and she would go to clubs in London. I'm sure there have been like some 16-year-olds who have gotten a fake ID and tried that. I'm sure of it.
Like, when I started, I was posting generic content and I was earning good money, but it's never going to go amazing.
Yeah.
You can't expect to earn good money if you're doing basic content.
It does make me think of Belle Delphine and how much of an uproar people would get in over Belle Delphine. And you know what? It makes me miss her a little bit because at least she wasn't hurting anyone else and she wasn't, to my knowledge, saying things that were too crazy or did she have any malicious intention? I don't think so. I mean, you remember the whole like bathwater stunt? It was attention seeking, but it didn't hurt anyone. Now, obviously there were some boys who ordered bathwater who had girlfriends, so I guess it kind of hurt them, but that's on... To my knowledge, it didn't hurt anyone anyway. Whereas this little Miss Pick Me is deliberately using kind of almost Tate adjacent talking points in her podcasts, that your husband is entitled to have sex with you, and if you don't put the effort in, he's going to cheat on you with me and I don't care because you're old and ugly. Like, she's a bit awful. No, I misspelled Delphine. Come back, please.
So he's the fake taxi guy, but we didn't do it in the taxi.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, he's done more like granddad sort of style content now.
Oh, shit.
He's getting on a bit.
Oh, yeah, he is actually, isn't he?
But yeah, it was still fun.
Wow, I feel like that's one to tick off the list.
That's what I mean. It was like a, tick list.
Were you starstruck by the fake taxi bloke? Oh, babe.
Would you do a threesome with a guy and their wife?
Yes, I've done quite a few girlfriends with their partners as well.
I feel like some of this has been cut out or something because I remember some more stuff. There are some funny jump cuts in this, and I do recall more stuff about the whole 18-year-old and how she said that she's not doing anything wrong because they use those titles on sites like Pornhub anyway. And it's like, yeah, they do use titles like that, which is gross. I don't like it. But also the people who are in those like clearly aren't 18 and aren't teenagers, like clearly. So I remember, I wonder if they've cut some of it out.
I would never.
Would you not?
Good God. Not with you. I'd be very jealous the entire time.
Eyelashes, hit me up.
Yeah.
Grace, you're laughing, but she actually would bang your missus and she wouldn't give a flying fuck if it upset you, which would be kind of hilarious actually. And I would have no sympathy because you've chosen to platform someone who is misogynistic to other women and ageist to women. Like, complain about the men who give you grief online, but no, nothing. Crickets.
I know people have daddy fetishes, but like me going daddy, it doesn't have.
Yeah, but daddy.
There we go.
Yeah.
I can't daddy.
Yes, you can, Grace. Just believe in yourself. It's not hard.
Just do better in the bedroom because if you don't, she will go elsewhere.
She might go and see you.
But you've not said that at all. It's all just been about men going elsewhere and men cheating and men this, men that. So why would Grace's girlfriend cheat? You've not mentioned women in that. You've only mentioned women to be derogatory. You've not mentioned women in that infantilizing way. So really don't make any sense and you're being inconsistent. Hate inconsistency.
Stunning. Thank you for that advice. It's been incredible.
It's not been incredible. It's been humorous in parts, but boring at most. That was Bonnie Blue being a massive pick-me, and she's on some other stuff, so I'm bored of this video, but maybe I'll cover the other ones that she's done. Depends how well this video does. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out my merch, ayclothing.com. Also, no, before we finish, I've seen some people say, oh, people are only reacting negatively towards her because she's a woman and women's pleasure and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it's nothing to do with that. It's because she's been misogynistic. People like Tate and the Tate adjacents are very misogynistic, fresh and fit, and they get called out for it too. So don't play the fucking woman card in this. She's just being gross to other women and sees other women as the enemy. And I think they cut some of that podcast out, or I'm conflating it with a different, we'll find out. What did you think of the episode? Do you think men are entitled to women's bodies if they're in relationships with them? Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.